So, the other day, I was hanging out on my couch wearing the equivalent of Ninja's wife. So, a shirt with no bra on, and I had no trousers on, only underwear. And I was watching Forensic Files. And I heard a knock at the door, and it was an Amazon delivery. So I waited till I heard the person leave, because I didn't want to put pants on. And I opened the door, and I reached my little arm out to grab the package. And the two girl children that live across the street, they're probably like 10 and 12 years old, saw me, but my body was concealed by the door. I could see into their apartment, and it was completely dark in there. And it was like the afternoon, maybe like 5-6 p.m. Florida time. And they said, "Hi, neighbor. Our mom isn't home and the power got turned off." They said, "Can we come in and call our mom? Because our phone isn't working. We don't know where it is." And I said, "Okay, 1 second." And they start to like come in, and I'm like, "I need to put pants on." And so they stopped, and I closed the door, and I put pants on. So I put appropriate clothing on, and I went and I opened the door, and there are two children, probably 10 and 12 years old. I'm 5 feet tall, and they were probably about to hear on me. Maybe even taller. So they come in, and I have their mom's phone number in my phone, and so I dialed the number, and I handed it to one of the kids, and I was like, "Here you go. You can call your mom." So she was calling her mom, and this was the older one was on the phone, and the younger one, sat down on my yoga mat that I have in front of my television that I never put away, because why should I put it away? I'm going to use it every day. And I was watching Forensic Files, and so she just sits down on the floor and starts taking her shoes off and getting comfortable. And so I'm like, okay. And then the other one's on the phone with her mom, and she's like, "Yeah, we're at the neighbor's house. We were just scared because the lights were off." And then she hangs up on her. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. What did she say?" And she said, "Oh, my mom said that the power got turned off because she forgot to pay the bill today, and so they need to turn it back on." And I said, "Okay." And then the other little girl gave me my phone back, and then also sat down on my yoga mat and just started talking to me. And I'm like, okay. And so they're both sitting down on my yoga mat. One of them has taken their shoes and socks off because they were making themselves at home, which was very sweet, whatever. And I was like, "Okay, when will your mom be home?" And they're like, "She's at work right now." And I was like, "Okay." And they're like, "Our power's off next door." And I was like, "Okay." But they were like, "But she'll be home soon." So I said, "All right. Do you want me to put Disney on for you?" And they're like, "Yeah." And so they had me put Disney Plus on. And then they were just sitting in my living room, and they were watching Disney, and I was like, "Do you want any snacks?" And so they got up and they started walking through my house. And the younger one came into my bedroom, and she's like, "Wow, your bedroom is so pretty. Your bed is so nice." And I was like, "Thank you." And then I showed them in my kitchen, and I was like, "Here's some snacks." And I had like crisps and mini muffins and like little packaged brownies and things. They're like, "Wow, you have so many snacks." And I was like, "Thanks, but you really didn't have to point that out." I didn't say that. I was like, "Thanks, you can have whatever you want." And so they helped themselves to a lot of stuff, and then they sat on the floor, and they laid down on the floor, and they were eating my snacks, a bunch of them, They were 10 and 12 years old, and they were eating my snacks and watching Disney on my television and talking about what happened at school that day. I've met them maybe once, and they're the ones that live across the hall. They're very sweet. And I've given them like a few things, like my old fairy lights, I gave them to them and things like that. And so they took crisps, they took brownies, and they took some of the mini muffins, and they were lying on my floor eating the snacks and watching my television. And I was like, "Are you thirsty?" And they were like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, all I have is water." So I went to pour them some water, but I have like a jug with a filter on it, and there was no water in it, so I had to fill it up. So I got them some sparkling water out of the fridge and gave it to them, and I was like, "Here you go." And they looked in my fridge and they're like, "Wow, your fridge has a lot of food in it." I was like, "Thank you." I did not give them any Doritos consomme. And so they hated the sparkling water. It's true. I think one of them was trying to be polite and was like, "I kind of like it." And the other one was like, "I don't like it." And I was like, "That's okay." So then I gave them water. And then they were laying on my floor. And I was just, all of a sudden, I had children in my house eating my snacks and watching my TV. And I was like, okay. And then they like, I was like, "You can have snacks and go home if you want to." And they were like, "Well, can't we stay here?" And I was like, "No." And they were like, "How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 30. And they said, "Oh, we thought you were 18 because we're the same size as you." And I was like, "No, I'm 30. They thought I was a child. I was like, "Okay." And I was like trying to figure out what I should do. And I was like, "Oh, well, I have to go meet my friends soon." Because the little one, she loved my bed so much. And she was like, "Can I go sleep in your bed? It's really pretty and I'm very tired." And I was like, "I have to go soon, so no." And they were like, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "I have to go meet my friend." And they said, "When do you have to go meet your friend?" And I said, "In like 20 minutes, but I need to get ready." And they said, "Can we stay here while you get ready?" And I was like, "No, I don't think so." And they were like, "Well, can we just stay here while you leave? We won't do anything." And I was like, "No." I was like, you can take as many snacks as you want and you can go back over home. But if you need anything, you can just knock on my door while I'm still here." And they're like, "Okay." So they took all of my brownies except for one they left me one brownie. And they took a bunch of my mini muffins and they took a bunch of my crisps. And then I had half of a bag of Doritos that I was actually eating on my table. And they were like, "Can I have that?" And I said, "I'll just give you your own new bag." So I gave them their own bag and I put them back across the hall and I texted their mom and I was like, "The girls were over for a little bit and they had some snacks." But I had them go back home, but I told them if they need anything, just let me know. I got fleeced. I got fleeced out of my own snacks, basically, is what happened. I got absolutely fleeced, and then I proceeded to hide in my own home. I stopped watching television on my living room TV because I felt really bad, and I didn't want them to be like, "You didn't go anywhere." It was just really funny because it was like I got taken hostage by children. If that wasn't me, would you believe that had happened to someone? You lied to get them to leave rather than telling them it's not on you to care for them. I felt bad. I was being nice. I put Disney on for them. They watched like 2 episodes of some Disney show. And they were like, "This is what happened at school today. And now I have a blood blister." And they put their thumb in my face. And I was like, "Oh, did it hurt?" And they were like, "Yeah." But it was so funny because I think children really like me. And I always kind of had a feeling that it was because they just think I am also a child because I'm the same size. And now I know that that's true because they told me. It was so funny though, and like I have a younger brother and sister that are 10 and 9 and 11 years younger than I am. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm just babysitting now.